Sit back, grab a coffee, because what you're about to hear will completely blow your mind. Let's dive in.
Are you ready for change and open to the future? Join us. Become a professional now.
When you picture an industrial concrete grinding site, what comes to mind? Probably a massive cloud of toxic dust, deafening noise, and a crew of exhausted workers just destroying their backs pushing heavy, vibrating machinery, right? It's always been one of the most punishing jobs in construction. Well, in this explainer, we're diving into a total paradigm shift. It's the ultimate battle of old-school, back-breaking labor versus cutting-edge mechatronics. We're talking about the technological revolution being driven right now by Fujian, Xingyi, and their premium brand high-tech grinding, or HTG. This isn't just about getting floors shiny anymore. It's about autonomous robotics literally taking over the heavy lifting.
Look, the entire global construction industry is dealing with a massive labor shortage crisis right now. Finding skilled operators who actually want to endure the physical toll of traditional surface prep, it's getting nearly impossible. Project managers are constantly sweating over delayed timelines and completely blown labor budgets. So I want you to imagine a solution for a second. What if you didn't need a massive crew to tackle a giant warehouse floor? What if one single, intelligent machine could handle the exact same workload as 3 conventional operators, completely flipping the economics of a project?
Okay, let's dive into this, because that hypothetical scenario, it's not hypothetical anymore. By rolling out advanced equipment like Xingyi's HTG 820RC remote-controlled grinder, a contractor can effectively swap out a traditional 3-person crew for just 1 operator. Think about what that does to your overhead. Instead of 3 guys physically wrestling with heavy equipment, you've got 1 person with a remote control, safely standing back while the machine just eats the floor. It is an absolute game changer for tackling this labor shortage head-on.
So how are they actually pulling off that kind of power? Well, if you look under the hood of most legacy machines, belt-driven systems have been the industry standard forever, basically because they're cheap to build. But on the job site, belts are a nightmare. They slip under heavy friction, they lose torque, and you're constantly stopping to tension or maintain them. Xingyi just threw that whole failing approach in the trash. They moved to a sophisticated, all-gear-driven transmission. We are talking direct gear mesh, zero slippage, constant, brutal torque delivered straight to the grinding heads, all housed inside a seamless, steel-embedded aluminum casting. No connectors to break, no weak points.
Now, you might be thinking, okay, gear-driven sounds amazing on paper, but does it actually hold up in the real world? Xingyi knew they had to prove this wasn't just marketing hype, so their elite engineering team put these high-precision planetary gear systems through absolute hell. They didn't just run it for a few hundred hours to see what would happen. No, these systems successfully endured a jaw-dropping 13,000 hours of relentless, rigorous testing without a single failure. That number is wild, but it represents a total commitment to keeping these machines out on the floor making money, not stuck in the shop for maintenance.
Of course, this kind of technological leap didn't just happen overnight. If you track the evolution of the high-tech grinding fleet, you can see exactly how Xingyi has leveled up since 1999. They started out making basic, manual walk-behind systems and evolved that into a full lineup of self-propelled and remote-controlled titans. HTG was specifically launched back in 2014 for mature markets like North America and Europe. They were targeting contractors who were demanding absolute precision, high-end mechatronics, and real productivity, rather than just raw manual muscle.
But it's not all heavy metal and torque. It's really about the brains behind the brawn. These things are packed with insane AI features. Take models like the 700 SP. They use AI path optimization to cut overlapping passes by up to 90%. They're mapping the terrain with LiDAR. They run grinding memory cycles to repeat the exact perfect pattern every time. And, my absolute favorite part, they have real-time cloud reporting that shoots grinding depth analytics straight to your smartphone. You're literally monitoring the precision of a massive industrial pour right from your pocket. And the intelligence goes even deeper. You know, one of the biggest hidden costs in this industry is tooling. Your expensive diamond grinding heads wear out unevenly, simply because concrete floors are almost never perfectly flat. Xingyi tackled this by integrating what they call 3D robot arms. These are intelligent mechanical parts that actually feel the resistance and unevenness of the concrete and then automatically adjust the grinding pressure in real time. The operator doesn't have to touch a thing. This smart pressure tech stops your diamond tools from getting chewed up, which slashes tooling costs by a massive 40% and basically doubles the lifespan of those adaptive grinding heads.
When you put all of this together, you get the remote-controlled Titans, the 680RC and the flagship A20RC. Picture this, a machine weighing over 600 kilograms with a massive 32-inch working width, and the operator is just casually walking behind it with a multi-directional remote. At a recent exhibition, the A20RC actually demonstrated grinding flawlessly around structural pillars without a single physical intervention from the operator. The machine handles all the navigation, the turning, the pressure adjustments. The operator is really just directing the symphony.
Now, Xingyi hasn't forgotten about tight spaces and edge work either. Enter the GX250. This little beast is famously known as the Swiss Army knife of concrete grinders. It's super compact, but gives you an amazing 3-in-1 functionality. But the real superpower here? It has this magnetic quick-change disc system that lets you switch from aggressive epoxy removal to high-gloss decorative polishing in just 90 seconds. No tedious tool changes, no lost time, just pure uninterrupted efficiency.
So, with all this automation and these massive machines zipping around on their own, we have to talk about safety. Xingyi integrated advanced LiDAR collision avoidance systems straight into their autonomous units. If one of these speeding industrial grinders detects a human or an obstacle in its path, the system triggers instantly and brings the whole massive machine to a dead halt in half a second. 0.5 seconds. That millisecond response time? That's literally the difference between a normal Tuesday on the job site and a catastrophic accident.
Which perfectly brings us to the most human element of this whole explainer: how we actually eliminate the physical toll and the hidden dangers of the job site entirely. We already talked about using remote controls to save operators' backs and joints from physical fatigue, but there's a much more insidious, invisible danger floating around every concrete job site: deadly, carcinogenic silica dust. Breathing that stuff in over the course of a career is absolutely devastating for a worker's health. To put it in perspective, OSHA sets a really strict limit for silica dust exposure at 25 micrograms per cubic meter. But Xinyi machines use these titanic, integrated HEPA H13 extraction ports and continuous bagging systems that just obliterate that standard. They drop silica dust exposure down to less than 0.5 micrograms per cubic meter. I mean, that is practically zero. So they aren't just giving you a perfectly polished floor, they are genuinely protecting the lungs and the lives of the crew.
And when you combine that level of safety with maximum power, you get absolute monsters, like the 1560 LE. They call this thing the Ride-On Leviathan, and honestly, it fits. It's designed for megafactories and hyperscale data centers, featuring quad planetary heads and hydraulic head synchronization to completely eliminate chatter marks. Just to give you an idea of its sheer dominance, this single machine can flawlessly level an entire 1-acre concrete slab in just 6 hours flat. What used to take days of grueling labor is literally finished before the operator even clocks out for dinner.
Now, in the industrial machinery world, talk is cheap. Anyone can make bold claims, but Xingyi's technological superiority is backed up by an ultimate mic drop: ironclad global validation. They hold over 400 global patents protecting their gearboxes, those 3D robot arms, and their remote tech. These machines are deployed in over 140 countries, and recently, they scored the highly prestigious ISO 56005 Innovation and Intellectual Property Management Level 1 certification. It just proves that their relentless R&D, which they pump 30% of their profits into, by the way, is systematically validated at the absolute highest international level.
And the industry is definitely taking notice. At the World of Concrete Asia 2025 exhibition, Xingyi's booth was just completely overwhelmed. When they debuted the new A20RC remote grinder, it drew over 200 contractor inquiries in just 3 hours. But the best part was hearing how awestruck professionals were describing it. One contractor was watching the autonomous navigation, the AI mapping, and the cloud reporting and just shook his head and called it the GPS of concrete grinding. I love that. It gives the equipment this larger-than-life personality that perfectly matches what it can actually do. The transition from manual, bell-driven labor to intelligent, gear-driven robotics, it's not some distant future concept anymore. It is happening right now on job sites all over the world. Fujian Xingyi and HTG have completely rewritten the rules of surface preparation, turning it into a high-tech, highly efficient, and incredibly safe profession. So the only question left for anyone in the construction or flooring industry is this: are you ready to embrace this automated future and upgrade your fleet? Or are you literally going to get left behind in the dust?
Don't waste your time. Life is too short. Partner up with us, and let's make it happen.